On June 9th, the most powerful AI you can buy went on sale. 3 days later, the United States government grounded it. Then it came back, and its paywall date moved 3 separate times, while millions of people refreshed their plans, wondering what they were actually paying for. This morning, the chaos officially ended. And quietly, your access to Claude Fable 5 changed forever. Some of you just got it built into your plan, with a catch nobody's reading closely. Some of you just got handed a $100 credit that most people will burn through in a single weekend without noticing. And some of you just got locked out entirely. In the next few minutes, exactly what changed, the real reason it happened, including the open source rival that just landed on Anthropic's runway, and the exact moves to make on every single plan. So you keep frontier intelligence without lighting money on fire. And the full decision kit, the math, the decision tree, the money saving moves is free. Comment the word GATE and my bot sends it to you. Welcome to Fable International. Your flight has been delayed. Let's read the flight log, because if you only saw the headlines, you missed how strange these 6 weeks actually were. June 9th, Fable 5 launches. Anthropic's most capable model ever. The first of a new class sitting above Opus. Demand goes vertical immediately. June 12th, 3 days in. Access pulled. We'll get to why in a second, because it's wilder than you think. July 1st, access restored worldwide. Then the paywall dance begins. The free inclusion window was supposed to end June 22nd. It moved to July 7th, then July 12th, then July 19th. 3 extensions in a row, each one announced days before the deadline. Each one keeping Fable inside subscription plans, quote, while we secured additional capacity. And through that whole window, the deal was the same. Paid plans could spend up to half their weekly usage on Fable 5, free. Which brings us to yesterday, July 20th. The music stopped. The temporary era is over, and the permanent rules are now live. But before I show you the new rules, you need to understand the two forces that produce them. One Anthropic talks about, and one it doesn't. First, why was the world's most advanced model grounded for 19 days? Not server load, not a bug. Export controls. In mid-June, researchers at Amazon published a jailbreak that could push Fable 5 into identifying software vulnerabilities and demonstrating how to exploit them. The government acted, restrictions came down, and the model effectively vanished from the market. 19 days gone, at the peak of its launch window. Here's the part that got buried though. When Anthropic tested the same jailbreak elsewhere, they reported that many less capable models could identify the very same vulnerabilities. In their words, every model they tested could produce the same demonstration. Fable wasn't uniquely dangerous. It was uniquely famous. The fix that brought it back on July 1st. A new safety classifier that Anthropic says blocks the reported technique in over 99% of cases. And when it triggers, your request quietly reroutes to Claude Opus 4.8 instead. Keep that reroute in mind because it still happens today, and it explains some odd answers people blame on their prompts. So that's force number 1, a security scare that cost Anthropic 19 days of its launch. Force number 2 is about money, and it's the one that actually wrote yesterday's rules. Climb up to the control tower with me and look at the radar. Anthropic's official explanation, word for word. Demand for Fable has been challenging to predict, which is why we rolled it out to subscription plans in stages, extending access several times as we secured additional capacity. Translation: every plane on this radar is a request for Fable 5, and there was never enough runway. This is the honest, boring truth at the center of the whole saga. Fable 5 is expensive to run. It's a Mythos class model, the biggest thing Anthropic has ever served at consumer scale. And it burns through your weekly allowance faster than any other cloud model. When they say keeping up with unexpectedly high demand, believe them. 3 deadline extensions in 5 weeks is not a marketing strategy. It's an operations team treading water. But capacity only explains why access was rationed. It doesn't explain why the pricing landed where it did. For that, you have to look out the tower window at what just touched down on the runway next door. Because while Anthropic was rationing runway, the competition landed. Two rivals, same week. Rival 1, OpenAI's GPT 5.6 Sol, comparable frontier tier, priced at $5 per million input tokens and 30 per million output. That is roughly half of Fable's fare. Rival 2 is the one that changes the game. Kimi K3 from China's Moonshot AI released July 16th, 4 days before Anthropic's announcement. 2.8 trillion parameters. On the independent GDPWell benchmark, it scored 1687, third place overall, right behind Fable 5 and Sol. It took the number 1 spot on the front-end code arena, ahead of both. And Kimi's output price, $15 per million tokens, about a third of Fable's fare. And here's the kicker. The full model weights are scheduled to drop on July 27th, 1 week after Anthropic's new pricing took effect. Open weights means companies can download it, fine-tune it, and run it on their own hardware. No subscription, no usage credits, no gate agent. Now, to be fair and precise, Fable 5 is still ranked number 1. Anthropic never said a word about competitors in its announcement. And running a 2.8 trillion parameter model yourself requires serious hardware. But you don't need to self-host a model for it to save you money. Every credible open alternative is negotiating leverage. When a near frontier model becomes something buyers can walk away to, charging $50 per million tokens gets harder every week. That's the pressure reading on the radar. Now, the new rules of the airport. As of July 20th, here is exactly who boards and who doesn't. Boarding Group 1, Max subscribers, and Team Premium seats. Fable 5 is now simply included in your plan. No expiry date, no promo window. The catch, printed small on the boarding pass. It's capped at 50% of your usage limits. Half your allowance can go to Fable. The other half is reserved for the rest of the fleet. And remember, Fable drains that allowance faster than any other model. So Group 1 does not mean unlimited. Standby. Pro subscribers and Team Standard seats. Fable 5 is no longer part of your plan at all. Instead, Anthropic hands you a one-time $100 usage credit, a goodbye gift for the transition. When it's spent, Fable costs you usage credits at full fare. $10 per million input tokens, 50 per million output. Your subscription still covers Opus, Sonnet, and everything else. But Fable is now a metered ride. And the observation deck. Free users. No Fable access, no credit. You can watch the plane take off through the glass. Sonnet remains genuinely excellent and genuinely free. But the flagship now requires a paid ticket. Those are the rules. The question that actually matters is what you should do about them. And that depends entirely on one number I'll show you right after this announcement from the gate. Attention all passengers. This is a gate announcement. Real talk. 90% of you watching haven't subscribed. On Facebook, subscribe is the supporter button here. That is what keeps the lights on here. On YouTube, it's free and it tells the algorithm to send you more. Subscribe to support us. Thank you for flying with us. Now fasten your seatbelt because here comes the money math. Here's the math nobody in the headlines actually ran. What does that $100 credit really buy you? The fare is $10 per million tokens in, 50 per million out. Now, these are my estimates, not Anthropic's numbers, and caching and good habits can stretch them. But watch the shape. Passenger 1, the chat user. Questions, drafts, a few documents a day. Call it 50,000 tokens in, 10,000 out, daily. That's roughly $1 a day. Your 100 lasts 3 months or more. For you, this credit is basically a free quarter of Fable 5. Genuinely a good deal. Passenger 2, the daily coder. You run Claude code an hour or two a day with a curated context, say 1.5 million tokens in, 150,000 out. That's over $20 a day. Your 100 is gone by Friday afternoon. Passenger 3, the agent runner. Parallel sessions, overnight jobs, big refactors, 5 million in, half a million out in a day. $75. Your welcome gift is one long Saturday. Same credit. Three completely different realities, which is exactly why just stay on Pro or just upgrade to Max is bad advice until you know which passenger you are. So let's price the upgrade honestly. Is Max actually worth it now? The crossover math is simpler than it looks. A Max plan runs $100 a month for the 5x tier, 200 for the 20x tier. So the rule of thumb writes itself. If you'd burn through more than about $100 of Fable credits in a month, that's our daily coder passenger and everyone above them, the Max plan is now the cheaper way to fly. And it's predictable. One bill, no meter anxiety. Fable included, plus everything else in the plan. If you're the chat passenger, flip it. Your $100 credit already covers months of your actual usage. Spend it slowly. Stay on Pro. And don't upgrade out of fear. Two honest catches before you swipe the card. Catch 1. The 50% cap means even Max users can hit the Fable ceiling in heavy weeks. Half your allowance, and Fable eats allowance fast. When you hit it, you either switch models or buy credits like everyone else. Catch 2. This pricing was written under pressure. Capacity pressure from inside, price pressure from outside. Which means it can move again. Don't sign an annual commitment because of one announcement. Decide monthly, like an operator. And whichever ticket you hold, the next scene is how to make it go 2 to 3 times further. Your flight plan. 6 moves, and they work on every plan. Move 1. Fable plans, Sonnet flies. Use Fable 5 for what only it does. Architecture, hard debugging, reviewing the plan. Then hand the actual execution to Sonnet 5, which delivers near flagship coding at a fraction of the burn. One architect, many builders. Move 2. Guard the meter. Fable consumes your weekly allowance faster than any other model, so check your usage page before big sessions, not after. The moment a task stops needing frontier reasoning, switch down. Mid-conversation is fine. Move 3. Curate the runway. Input tokens are $10 a million, and most people waste them by pasting entire repositories when 3 files would do. Smaller context isn't just cheaper, it usually gets you better answers. Move 4. Make repeats cheap. Keep stable system prompts and reuse sessions, so caching works for you instead of against you. And batch your questions instead of drip feeding 20 tiny messages that each drag the full context behind them. Move 5. Schedule the heavy lifting. Weekly limits reset on a cycle. So plan your monster refactor for the top of your cycle, not the bottom. And queue overnight runs when you're not competing with your own daytime work. Move 6. Set a tripwire. When your $100 credit drops to about 20, stop and decide deliberately. Upgrade to Max or lock into the Sonnet first workflow. The worst outcome is sleepwalking to 0 and making the choice in panic. Fly like this, and $100 of credit or half a Max allowance goes a very long way. So, final boarding call. One screen, the whole new world. And I want to know where you're standing in it. If you're on Max or Team Premium, you're Group 1. It's in your plan. Your job now is the 50% cap and the architect and builder's workflow. If you're on Pro or Team Standard, you're standby. You hold a $100 voucher and a decision to make. And after the fair math, you know exactly which passenger you are. And if you're on the free plan, you're a spotter on the observation deck for now, with Sonnet in your pocket, watching whether capacity catches up and the doors reopen. Type your group in the comments. Group 1, standby, or spotter. Just the words. I'll go first. This channel runs on Max, So I'm group 1. And yes, I've hit that 50% cap twice. Your answers tell everyone reading the comments what this change actually did to real users, not what any press release claims. Screenshot this board if you need the rules at a glance, and send it to the one person you know who's still paying full fare out of habit. Before I hand you the boarding pass, the weather forecast, because this story is not over. Watch three fronts. Front 1, capacity. Anthropic's exact words: we are continuing to invest in new capacity and will keep everyone updated. Every previous extension happened because demand beat supply. If supply catches up, today's caps and fares are the ceiling, not the floor. Front 2, July 27th. Kimi K3's open weights are scheduled to drop. If a near frontier model becomes something your company can run in house, every closed model price tag in the industry, not just Anthropic's, comes under review. Front 3, the $50 question. Fable's output fare is now more than 3 times Sol's and more than triple KT's. Either Fable stays so far ahead that the premium keeps justifying itself, or that number moves. My honest read: these rules are a snapshot of a market in motion, written by a company buying time and defending a lead at the same time, which is exactly why the right strategy is the one we built today. Know your passenger type, route your models deliberately, redecide monthly. Operators adapt, passengers just pay. Here's your boarding pass to take home: the Fable 5 boarding pass, a free PDF with the full decision tree for every plan, the complete fare math so you can find your own passenger type, all 6 fuel saving moves with copy paste routing prompts, and the 3 forecast fronts to watch. Comment the word gate, and my bot sends it straight to you, or grab the link in the description. Just getting started with these tools. My paid beginner guides are linked below too. The complete Claude Code Guide, the OpenAI Codex Guide, the Claude Cowork Sales Guide, and the Claude Architect Certification Prep Kit. Step-by-step playbooks, from first prompt to first working system. If this breakdown saved you from wasting that $100, subscribe here on YouTube. And if these deep dives are worth real support, check out the membership. On Facebook, that's the supporter button. And the builds behind these videos live on Instagram at Hyper Automation Labs. Last thing, 6 weeks of chaos ended with one quiet truth. Frontier AI is no longer one price for everyone. It's a market, and you're a buyer in it. Buyers who do the math fly further. See you in the next one.